What is up, Dish Rags? JJ back here from Run Pure Bets with another free pick for you. This has to be Major League Baseball for Friday, August the 12th. Game's going to be played between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Going for the Sox is Nathan Eovaldi, and for the Yankees is Domingo Herman. Current betting spread is Yanks minus 130. Total 9.5. Now, the recap from the pop-up live show Tuesday was 1-1 minus the pennies of vig. I tell you, I felt like 2-0 had aspirations with one of those wins coming to the third inning. Over 11 Rockies Cards. The Padres, though, continue to be a decent thorn in my side, at least when I've been betting them recently. Either way, it's been like a lot of easy wins and a few losses at the number. But such is life, right? I mean, you just got to work harder to find edges. But I'll say this, because the league is really starting to show its disparity. I mean, a lot of girthy lines lately, a lot of girthy lines on this slate for Friday, a lot of lines in that minus not 190 and above range. You normally expect this in September with this volume of big money line favorites, but it's come a bit early this year. Now, it's a bit tough to know. I mean, for me specifically, it's a bit tough because I like to hover in that, small dog to minus 135 range. And needless to say, value is still that, and we'll continue to find, the diamonds in the rough. But, and if not, I mean, I'll just be living in an underpass, right? Kind of random, but how in the fuck are there not solar powered batteries for cell phones yet? I mean, we're over here putting like solar panels and batteries in houses. And we actually charge our phone through it indirectly. I even go as far to say, like these days, there's probably somebody shoving a lithium solar battery up their ass and, as some kind of like fetish, and we can't get solar powered batteries for cell phones. So instead, like I get heart palpitations when I'm somewhere, under 50% with the battery. Can someone just get like Elon Musk off Twitter and into the lab? I mean, solar powered phone batteries, get on it. Thank you very much. All right, so let's talk some bases here. Now, this game is under all the way for me at 9.5. First of all, I talk on park dimensions and numbers there at each park all the time. While Fenway can post 10.5 at times, those are really only seen when two bottom feeders are on the hill in very warm weather. These are far from that pitching wise, and it will not be a scorcher tomorrow in Boston. Now, let's start with Eovaldi, who hasn't really been the same pitcher since his return from injury, right? With that said, maybe aiming for some positive regression here against a Yankees team who's lost their mojo a bit, right? We know the sport ebbs and flows, so this recent blip from the Bombers isn't their true self. But regardless, the team's having struggles in the win column recently, and if we can get 6 innings from Eovaldi, which he's usually reliable for, I'll feel good to turn this to the pen, even though the pen is not ideal, but it could be worse. Now, let's be honest, too. Eovaldi's having a good season, above average K rate for a starter, almost no walks, batting average and balls in play of 300, which will come down. But the home runs have been the issue, right? And it's kind of funny because home runs have been a killer for me on my unders recently. People always say, oh, you should bet more unders. I mean, not to me specifically, but more unders than overs. I bet so many more overs in baseball this year, and I am so much more profitable betting overs than unders. But again, the sample size is small for me at unders. I haven't really bet a lot of them. I'd probably say I've bet under 20 total all season. But it hasn't been good. 3+ homers in like 9 of my last 10 under bets. And I know it seems silly to say, right? Because it's like, maybe be better at predicting home runs. But the truth is you don't handicap totals because you expect there to be home runs. You handicap totals because you're expecting a lot of foot traffic, or foot traffic, if you're betting over, foot traffic being limited if you're betting under. Either way, you can expect about 2 homers per game, obviously pending the park. Maybe that goes to 2.5. But that's league average regardless. More or less than this in any given game, we'll count to variance. Now, let's go to Herman, who's been struggling, but another pitcher on the bump with upside, right? So it's like I've been saying, you grade players based on highs and lows as a profile, not as a small sample. And you can't fall victim to a good pitcher pitching badly and a bad pitcher pitching good in terms of chasing that progression or regression, if you will. But you always let the markets open up value, and then again, you profile it against certain players, and it's really the best way to handicap. Well, this sport, any sport for that matter. But again, you're more or less buying low, selling high, and that's betting 101. But Herman has good stuff, and dare I say he's finding himself a bit after his horrid start. Now, let's look at a bit of strength of schedule, too, because it's been brutal for him. Astros, Mets, Mariners, Cardinals, dare I say 4 playoff teams. Anywho, he's kind of collected himself okay, and though the sample is still small. Now, for me, his velo is fine, and Boston's still missing some key bats, which helps. Now, as for bullpens, we know how good the Yankees pen has been this year, but it's in a bit of a tailspin, right? I'll take the season's data, though, over the last few weeks, and the Boston pen can be scary with the few injuries they have. It's not like they have big arms to begin with, and the few decent ones they have in that pen are injured. But Eovaldi is normally reliable for 6 innings, and granted, this is the Yankees that he's playing, so it's not going to be a slouch. But again, I'm playing the full game number here, which is quite large. As for weather, I already spoke on it. It will be mildly warm, but not crazy carry warm like it can be in Fenway. All in all, as it always is, this is a pure number spot for me with value. Held at 9.5, at least a half run too large here in favor of the under with two pitchers who bring good upside to the table, even though they've had some recent poor form. Collective average pens, taking into account both teams' bullpens, weather's neutral at best, and this is just a large number at Fenway, all things considered. So yes, under all the way for me here. I'd play it all the way to 9 at even money. May the odds be ever in our favor. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Create some fake accounts more. Thumbs up. If you did not enjoy, I'll pick up with your nuts tied to a solar-powered car battery. As always, drop comments below your thoughts on the video and let me know who you're betting for the Friday slate. Maybe you're just gambling. Let me know as well. Or you could just, pop in to say hello in the comment section. As for this weekend, I'll be back Saturday running down the live slate again for MLB. Then once again on Sunday. And of course, with Kegger and Coop afterwards talking NASCAR. Live shows just continue to smash on their ends. But until then, be sure to gamble responsibly, stay safe, and run pure, folks.